what is your take on the quarterback situation in Alabama with us taking a transfer? And do you think Nick Saban just did that to introduce more competition, or do you think he has a more bigger goal of with Buckner in bringing him in?
I think that unless one of those quarterbacks improves considerably from what we know, so we saw Tyler Buckner play the majority of the season, or I shouldn't say the majority of the season. We saw him play early in the season, then late in the season at Notre Dame. He was hurt for most of the season, but he played quite a bit the year before in relief of Jack Cohn. That we know that neither he nor Jalen Milroe, from what we saw against Arkansas and Texas A&M, are anything close to Bryce Young, Mac Jones, Tua Tagovailoa, even Jake Coker.
Agreed. However, I still believe in Milroe. I've seen
Okay.
his high school tapes, and he's got it in him. I know he has it in him. I don't know if it's the
What what
nerve,
what is it that he has in him?
the ability. The
Okay, because I didn't see it throwing the ball, and he could get much better during an off season and them working with him, but
well, I just think that his nerves got the best of him. I mean, he got thrown in that A&M game, and then going into that Arkansas game, just had a maybe that was just a bad day. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, but I do know from watching his. They tried to flip him from Texas for a reason, and get him because he was committed to Texas for a while. There's a reason that Nick Saban pushed so hard for him to come to Alabama. So we Nick Saban knows he's got the talent. It's just him being able to get out there and perform on a consistent basis.
well, I will say that we know that 2 years ago that Bryce Young had not thrown a meaningful pass in college football. I think he threw 6 passes his first season in mop-up time. And Nick Saban had so much confidence in Bryce Young that there was no quarterback competition. He said Bryce Young's the starting quarterback, and there was no competition.
Yeah, could this be another Mac Jones situation where it takes him a minute to get into his
Maybe.
own? You know,
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't want to write off Jalen Milroe. I don't think that's fair, but he obviously has to be much better. If Jalen Milroe is the starting quarterback at Alabama this year and he plays as he did in that game and one quarter against Arkansas and Texas A&M, then Alabama might lose 3 games.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't disagree with that at all.
And the
Um,
same thing with Tyler Buckner, who, based on his experience and based on what I've seen, is a better quarterback. And again, I'm not making a prediction about the future, but I'm just saying, based on what we've seen already, Tyler Buckner is no world beater, but he's a better quarterback at this stage than Milroe is.
and I think that if it wasn't for Tommy Reese being at Alabama, I don't think Buckner would be at Alabama. I tend to think that Tom, Tommy Reese talked Nick Saban into into him coming to Alabama to,
Could
if
be.
nothing, if to nothing else, just create more competition. And maybe Tommy sees something in Buckner that Nick Saban doesn't know yet, or didn't know him coming into it. I don't know. I tend to go with the theory that it let that transfer happen to induce more competition and to make these guys realize, hey, somebody's gonna have to get the job done, and if we have to bring in somebody else, so be it. But we're not seeing what we need to see from you two.
This is the first off season that I can remember Nick Saban making moves that I will never doubt Nick Saban. So I want to go on record as saying I'm not saying that he made bad moves because he's so much smarter than me and knows what he's doing and has proven it 1,000 times over that he's the greatest of all time. What I'm saying is that he's made moves this off season that don't seem like slam dunk hires. Like, okay, Tommy Reese as the offensive coordinator, Kevin Steele as the defensive coordinator, and now bringing in Tyler Buckner.
I don't know. I felt like we needed a new offensive coordinator. I just didn't like the way that Bill O'Brien called games. I think he was trying to run a pro style offense in an era in college football where the game's just not played like that anymore. And maybe Tommy Reese has some concepts and some things that he can bring to the table to make this Alabama team more dynamic in the passing game, and that's what my hope is. Um, so we know Nick Saban brought him in for a reason. So I don't really tend to question Nick Saban that much, just because of the reasons you just laid out. But yeah, and Kevin Steele, he's a proven commodity. I mean, he was at Alabama in the early days, and he's been at several different places, and he had the Auburn defense looking pretty good last year. So I don't think that's a bad move.